Good morning guys, today is the 29th of September, I think then. God, we've had plenty of rain the last couple of mornings. Just been to my mother-in-law's and they've gone back to mine. As it's dry at the minute, the sun is shining. I think I'm going to whip the plugs out, give them a clean up. I'm also working on something else in the garage, which will be on the other channel. One of my sons got a Suzuki Bandit and he ain't used it much over the last couple of years, and that's been just sitting in the garage, and he went to take it for an MOT and it's running really rubbish. So I've been working on that, cleaning the carbs out and stuff. But anyway, this morning, like I say, I thought I'd whip the plugs out on Phebe and give them a clean. Don't know if it's going to keep coming, but again. It's like a last minute thing, you couldn't decide whether it was going to come or not. Never mind. Yeah, it's a bit blustery. It's actually feeling quite warm. So when I start working on the car, I normally use my other camera. There might be a bit of wind noise on there today, but we'll see how we get on. Phoebe's running absolutely fine. I normally, about this time of year, if I don't get new plugs, then I clean the plugs. I had to give Phebe new plugs last year. I used to change plugs, points, condenser every year on my cars, but I think nowadays plugs have got so expensive and you don't really need to keep changing them. If they're not all burned away and they're working fine, why waste money and keep changing plugs where you can just give them a good clean. I think one day last year Phebe let me go, and to be honest, I think that was flooded and I didn't have time to mess about. I just went to work on my Bantam in the end. I wonder what that noise was. I had the blower on because earlier this morning it was hammering down and the inside obviously steamed up. What's up with everyone today? He was going to pull out and all. We're invisible, Phebe. I checked the tyre pressures again yesterday afternoon because, like I say, I haven't had a problem with them. They haven't gone down. I think with the drop in the temperature, when I got to work yesterday, I glanced around it and thought, well, they look like they lost a bit of air, but they hadn't. I think that was just because of the temperature dropped. Maybe they'd gone down a little bit, but the time I checked them when I got home, they were bang on. So, just my imagination. I don't know about you guys who've got muggies. Do you put new plugs in every year or every service? I change the oil every year. I have been known to change it twice, but normally every year. I don't change the filter every year though. I do it every other year. Don't ask me why, I don't know, I just, it's something I don't terms of saving money, save where you can, as long as it doesn't affect anything. Phebe don't do a great lot of mileage. She does a lot of short mileage, backwards and forwards to work, which is not far at all really. I used the e-bike a couple of times last week, and of course as soon as I did, got to work, and first job I needed some tools what I didn't have, so I had to wait until I went back later with the car. Right, I'm back at mine. I'll let the engine cool down a bit before I touch them plugs. I'll have a little mess around with another project, and then I'll get back to it. So I'll catch you in a bit, guys.
Okay guys, so I'm back at mine obviously. Just going to open the bonnet, let the engine cool down a bit before I take these plugs out and give them a clean. Everything's looking good in there. I thought I'd just well, obviously this is my Harley Davidson Fat Bob, that needs a wash from last Saturday. I went out to Newmarket Harley Davidson dealership. They had a 25-year bash on. That was really good, I enjoyed that. And this is Craig's Suzuki Bandit. He's a good boy. Obviously I got the carbs off. I haven't took them right off, I got them off like this. So if you're interested in that guys, then have a look at my other channel. I'll put a link to it in the description just in case anyone's interested. And I'll get on with this car in a bit as it's cooled. I'm going to do a bit on the Bandit. Well, I've just been working on the Bandit. I'm going to leave that for now because the engine would have cooled down on Phebe, and we'll whip out the plugs. While we're here, I'll check the oil. I'm going to take the distributor cap off and have a clean out in there. You can hear the wind probably. So let's start with whipping the first plug out, number one plug. I'm going to do them one at a time so I don't get mixed up. Let's get a plug spanner that will fit that plug. This is an old spanner, I've had this for some years. And how tight they've been put in. Right, gonna need two ends. Where shall I put the camera? Let's try there. No, let's try there. Might work. Got to check in here whether that had a little rubber to keep the plug in. No, it hasn't. Well, there's the plug. Let's have a look. Closer look at it outside. There's a little bit of carbon on it, but all in all, that is not burning too bad, I don't think. Don't forget, Phebe runs a lot on choke with the short journeys, so I'm quite happy with that. Just going to give it a light wire brush, and I'll clean in where the gap is there with a little piece of Henry paper, and we'll whack that back in, and that should see us through the winter. Right, I'll give it a clean up. So there we go then, I'll give that a good clean up. That'll do. There's no broken bits on it. Got most of the carbon off where it matters. Just going to check the gap. I've got some feeler gauges in the boot somewhere, but I just found these in my shed. I think that looks fine. Just check it with these. Yeah, should be about 25. This has got a 24 and then 28, so it does the 24 look. As soon as you move towards the 28, it's getting jammed, so that's fine. I'm happy with that. Get that one back in. Just coming out. Same thing, look. That's burning quite well. Yeah, quite pleased with that. A little bit of carbon build up, not much. We'll give that a clean and see what it looks like after. Well, there's that one cleaned. I'm pretty pleased with these plugs, the way they're burning. I did expect a little bit more, to be a little bit more blacker with them. She burns a little oil now and then, and also use a lot of choke, but that ain't come up too bad. I just checked the gap, that's fine, so that one can go back in. There's number 3. Same again, look, little bit of build up, but that is burning fine. I'm quite pleased with that. I wouldn't have cleaned these probably almost, if not exactly, a year ago, and they're done alright. Not going to have to buy any new ones yet. I know it's working fine because she don't miss a beat, so I'll just give them a clean up and that should see us through the winter. Right, I'm happy with that, it's clean enough. We'll get that one in and do number 4. Right, there we go, last one. Same thing, look. All good. I'd say they're burning fine, wouldn't you? The gap looks a little bit smaller on this one, ain't? Just check out after I've cleaned it. There's number 4. The gap was fine, there was just a little bit of build up of carbon. You could go on for ages cleaning your plugs and making sure they're like new, but I don't see any point, especially for an old car like this. As long as they're clean where they need to be, you'll be fine. But like I've said before, I'm no expert, just showing you how I do things, and I know that these plugs will be fine. Right, I'll get this one back in and we'll whip that cap off. Righty-ho, so now we get down to the distributor. Take these 2 clips off. Now Phoebe's got electronic ignition, so there won't be any points or condenser. I just want to check inside the cap here. That all looks fine. Sometimes you get these posts eroded away, and in the center there's like a carbon connection on a spring which looks like new, so there's no problem there. Sometimes they get worn down and obviously the spark will be jumping across to the top of your rotor arm. Just check that that's there and that has got a little spring in it, plenty of life left in that one. Also be careful when you lay these down like this, because sometimes they can fall out and you get them lost on the floor, and then you put it back together and you don't know. Right, I don't know what type of electronic module or anything what this is. I didn't fit it, but it all looks fine. I was just checking that that the rotor arm hadn't burnt or anything, but it's just all like new. I'm just going to run a piece of sandpaper across the front here to make sure it's got a good connection. Give it a wipe round and put it back together, because there's absolutely nothing to do in there. Right then, I just run a bit of sandpaper over that rotor arm connection. Just give it a couple of wipes over just to make sure everything's good. As you can see in here, it's like new. It's just nothing to worry about. That ain't going to give us any problem. It's going to put it back together now, which is just put the top on, put the clips on. That's that on. The one thing I like to do, especially like with winter coming up, and I'll do it during the winter, I like to stick a bit of WD-40 all around my cap and onto my plug leads, just to keep the damp out, or help keep the damp out. I've had a car before when I had a problem to start, sprayed a bit of WD-40 on my distributor cap, give it a wipe round, and that's been fine. But with Phebe we ain't had that problem, so we should be alright anyway. You can buy some like film, plastic film, what you spray on, and it puts a seal on it. Whether that works or not, I'm not sure. If everything is in good condition, you shouldn't have a problem, especially if you're not driving through any water or anything. But you never know. We'll keep an eye on everything and see how we go. Next job, I'm just going to check my oil. Just get a rag. Right, just going to spray a bit of WD-40 on my plug leads and onto my distributor cap, just so it keep any water out. There ain't any in there anyway. I put on my electrics as well. That way, that could prevent, not saying it will. Right, where's the coil? The coil is down here. I'll just put a bit on that as well. That's looking good. A little bit dirty, but that's another place where you could have a problem. Just make sure that your cables are inserted properly all around everything. And I think Phebe will be fine. Just going to check the oil now. Just get myself a rag. There we go. Whip out the dipstick. Right, give it a wipe. Reinsert it. It ain't been running for a little while, so that should all be at the bottom anyway. Pull it out. As you can see, that's right on the bottom line. There is maximum. Now I normally run Phebe close to the bottom line anyway. There's no point me filling it right up, because that just causes it to leak more oil. So I'm just going to put a touch in and just bring it up a little bit. Right, with this particular car, as you probably know, you guys who follow my channel, that I've got a breather coming off the top of my filler cap, which used to go to the carburetor or to the air filter. I had a little problem of getting a lot of oil vapours and dirtying it up, so I just put it round to this can here with a filter in, and that seems to be working fine. I haven't lost so much oil through the pressure building up in the engine, and also it just seems to run a lot better. So the next job is going to be is to just take these pipes off. I'll need 2 hands to do that. I'll take the pipe off and we'll just check inside and put a bit of oil in. Start off. Oh, it's not too bad. You can see there's a little bit of condensation in there, but nothing too bad. Give that a little wipe round. Don't forget, like I've said many a times, Phebe does a lot of short journeys, so you could get a build up of like mayonnaise, which some people say it's a head gasket. If there was absolutely loads, then I'd say yeah, my head gasket could be on its way out, but I think this is purely just through condensation, but we will see. Right, let's get some oil. Right then, found a bit of oil. I'm not going to put too much in. It's like I say, I just like to keep above that bottom fill line, which we can check now. Check it again. There you go, look, just above, and I'm happy with that. I don't want to go overfilling it. It just seems like the more oil I put in Phebe, the less chance, or the more chance it's got of building up pressure and blowing it out. Let's get this cap just right. Come on. There, put this pipe back on. And that's it. Just check the water. That's fine. So everything's good. We'll see how we go on with that. Right, people will say, oh, you should get new plugs, you should do this. Which, yeah, you can if you want. But I honestly don't think you need to. I've run enough Morris Minors to know how they run and what you can get away with, and I think Phebe will be fine throughout the winter, but you guys will be the first to know if she ain't, because I let you know of everything what happens and what don't happen with Phebe. Right, let's fire her up. Gonna have to give it a bit of choke because she's been sitting here for quite a while now. And you know Phebe like choke. Right, where's my key? There's the key. That should be enough choke, I should think. Put the ignition on. Make sure she's in neutral. We'll start from the front of the car, shall we? Luckily she's got one of the solenoids with the push button on the bottom, so I can start it from here. Let's see. And she's away. Probably could have done with a little bit more choke. But she's fine, look, she's picking up. That's the bumper rattling. Always something, isn't there? It's actually this number plate. Suppose I could do something about that, but not today. Oh, stop rattling now. Yeah, she's running fine, and I think she'll run fine for a while yet. Should we go round the block? You can't go round the block, isn't you? Come on then. Right, I've just dropped the choke in. We'll see how we get on. Might still need a little bit. Like I say, Phoebe's always liked a bit of choke. But once she warms up, she gets to running temperature. Brilliant. I'll tell you what, it's a glorious day. It's a little bit blustery, but that is nice. Right, let's just go around a little block, shall we? I won't go too far because I left the garage open with the bikes and everything, so just go a little spin. Turn round and we're right on back.
hopefully Phebe should be good for the winter months. Like I say, you just never know, do you? Anything could go wrong. That's all the fun of owning an old car. If you don't want to get your hands dirty, then it's not for you. Like I said, I didn't need to go far. I know she's fine. So that means I'll end this video here. Just say thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out my other channel if you're interested in motorcycles, especially Harley Davidsons. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.